everyone, and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. I'm Gina from GKD Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. We are back in the studio tonight, and I am so excited about tonight's project because we're going to be using the brand new kit, and we're going to be doing a little bit of foiling. But remember, anytime I do a foiling card with our new kit, if you don't foil, you can make the same exact card just using ink, or you can use embossing powder and add your sparkle and shine that way. So don't feel pressured to do the foil, but if you love foiling like I do, it's fun to see a foiled card come to life every once in a while here on Stampin' Chat Live. Well, I'm reading the comments. I had no idea we went over 200,000 subscribers. We did it! Yay! That you guys did that. Thank you so much. Well, now, Tom, come on in, Tom. Say hello to everybody. I didn't know. I wasn't even following along. 200,000. Woohoo!
200K.
That means we've got to have a big party.
All
So
right.
we're going to start planning the party this week, and we'll probably get that party going next week. Now, that being said, if a few more of you don't mind subscribing just to get us a little over that, because you know what happens. The minute you get to 200,000, then somebody unsubscribes or closes their YouTube channel, and it drops back down, and it does this for a little bit. So we would love to have you as a subscriber. But 200K, thank you guys so much. That means the world to me and to Tom. You know, it only took 16 years to get there.
Wow, yeah.
16 years on YouTube. Yeah.
And it only takes a bad word of the day to take it down a couple notches. So
yeah, that might be a liability. I got to
let's
start
build it
thinking
up a
about
little
that.
bit. Anyway.
Well, we appreciate it because we know it's all of you out there that have done that for us, that have subscribed, and you're loyal viewers, and we love to have you here. And it's just fun.
Years.
It's just fun to make cards together. So thank you guys so much for that. Well, Tom, how are you doing?
I am better than horrible. Thank you very much.
All right. You feel good being back in the regular dead space?
Yeah. It was fun though. That was fun to be in the new dead space. But this is back to the familiar, well-seasoned.
Well-seasoned dead space. Well, I saw somebody asking in our Facebook group, I'm new to GKD Designs, and I don't understand fruit salad, and I don't understand the dead space. So let me explain it to you, just in case you're new. So when we talk about fruit salad, what we're really talking about is sangria. So one night, many years ago, we were doing a live, and that was at our old studio, and I had mentioned that I was having a fruit salad. I was trying to be more healthy, and I was having a fruit salad. And I took a sip of my fruit salad, and Tom said, "You took a sip?" And I'm like, well, it was fruit salad. It was sangria. Had a lot of fruit in it, though. So fruit salad is sangria. Some people call it wine now, but originally fruit salad was sangria.
Yeah, and that was quite a few fruit salads ago.
It really was, right? And then the dead space, the way that came about is Tom explained to everybody one night that his job was to fill in the dead space.
That was what you said.
I said that?
I jumped in with you 1 week with the show, and I said, well, what do I do back here? And you said, just fill in the dead space.
And so when I'm making a card or I'm coloring and Tom jumps into the conversation, he's filling in the dead space. So that's why we call where Tom is over there the dead space.
Yes.
So now everybody's up to speed. All right. Well, Tom, do you have a word of the day today?
I do.
Excellent. All right. Well, let's get started with today's card. So guess what? I sent my fuse to Canada because I'm going to be taking part in an event up there, and I'm going to be doing some demoing up there using the fuse. I'm going to be sharing how to use the fuse. So I packed up my white fuse and I sent it to Canada, and I forgot that I needed a fuse here in the studio. So I resurrected my amethyst fuse. So we're going to be using her tonight. No problem with that, right? And what we are also going to be using, let me grab this out of here because I want the little insert. to talk about this. So we are going to be using this tonight. This is our new Floral Friendship card kit. And we're going to be using this set right here, which is called Floral Friendship. And for those of you that only want to stamp and you don't want to foil, you can go ahead and use the stamps to do this. I am going to be using some of our coordinating Poly-Glaze sheets. So here is the stamp set. And then I have the coordinating Poly-Glaze sheets. How did this get to be such a mess when I haven't even done anything yet? Oh, here it is. Okay, so here are the coordinating Poly-Glaze sheets. And we are going to be foiling these, a couple of these, to create tonight's card. Now, I did say in my my description that I was going to be doing a fancy fold tonight. And I am going to do a fancy fold. And I'm going to be using some different master layout sets. One of them I'm going to use is Master Layouts 13 because I'm going to be using these two panels. And when we get to Master Layouts 13, we're going to thoroughly exhaust all of the techniques that you can do with this. But tonight, this is one of the techniques that you can do is to use this for fancy folds because Master Layouts 13 was designed specifically for fancy fold cards. So most of the fancy fold cards that I have on my channel would use these panels if you didn't want to cut them by hand. Now we're also going to be using the brand new Master Layouts 19 because I really wanted to use this frame for my project. I've already cut 3 of them out and I glued them together so you could see it's rather thick and a little bit rigid. I wanted to do that because of the way I'm going to be making my fancy fold card. I wanted this panel to be kind of stiff. I'm going to cut one more out tonight and glue it on top just to have it really, really nice and thick. So I'm going to be using Master Layouts 19 for that. Now I'm also going to be using Master Layouts 14 for the stitched rectangle and Master Layouts 1 for the larger plain rectangle. Because if you remember in our Master Layouts 1 video, I told you that the rectangle in 14 coordinates with the largest die in Master Layouts 1. This way you can either have a plain white or colored panel over your shadow layer, or you can have a stitched panel over your shadow layer. So these are all the master layouts I'm going to do tonight. I'm also going to tell you the sizes of everything. So this way, if you don't want to use master layouts or you don't have them, you can still make tonight's card. And then I was thinking about using a little bit of patterned paper, but instead of just patterned paper, I was going to use some Poly-Glaze sheets so we can have a little sparkle instead. All right, so I am going to first turn this on, and I am going to turn this up to level 3, which is what I use. Now, you might see on our website, if you're new, that our fuse machine is now white. This was the original limited edition amethyst one, and this is no longer available, but a lot of you have this one, and it's the same exact machine as the white one, just the color is different. So, to answer your question why Tom doesn't play music anymore, it's because we had several requests from some of the people who watch our videos to not do the music anymore because they really had a hard time hearing and they had a hard time concentrating on the card project. Tom and I talked quite a bit about it. We know a lot of people really like the music, but also the purpose of this channel is card making. And so we certainly didn't want something extra to interfere with the main focus of the channel. And we don't want anybody who has maybe a hearing disability or, any trouble focusing to have to navigate through something that was just a little fun extra and completely unnecessary to what the channel offers. It was fun, but it didn't work out. But if you like Tom's music, you can always check him out on Instagram because he's got his own Instagram account, and he plays saxophone on that account, and there are a couple of times where I've been on there with him where I've sang a song with him playing guitar. And what's the name of your Instagram, Tom?
TK on More Music.
Okay, maybe we could type that into the comments here. Can you type that in just so people can see that? It'll go to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch if you type it in here on Ecamm. Okay, so I'm going to make some background paper, and I think I'm going to use this one because I don't want it to be too busy, and this is just one of my absolute favorite Poly-Glaze sheets. It's called Flurries, and even though it's flurries and it's snow, it is not really flurries. Oh, thank you, Brianne. I appreciate you. Brianne is here, and she is sharing links. She shared Tom's actual link to his Instagram here on YouTube, and then Tom shared it out to all of our channels, just the name of his Instagram. He didn't share the link. Okay, so I'm going to be using this one, and I'm going to use one of our newer foils, which is the Butterscotch. This is a really neat color foil. It kind of leans toward a very, very yellowy orange or a very, very orange yellow. So I'm going to use that. And remember, all of these foils match our different cardstock and ink colors. So if you're using any of the fancy foils, you will find colors that coordinate with our ink and our cardstock. So I'm going to start with a piece of the Butterscotch, and I'm going to use a Swiffer duster. If you don't have Swiffer dusters where you are, you can use any kind of anti-static cloth. Any dusting cloth. I know that they have them all over the place. It's just Swiffer is a popular one here in the United States. And then I am going to clean the back of my foil, that's the plain side, not the colored side, with that Swiffer duster just to remove any dust that may get in between my Poly-Glaze sheet and my piece of foil. Then I'm going to use the carrier sheet that comes with the fuse, and I'm going to pop that in to the carrier sheet, and then fold side first, I'm going to send this through the fuse machine. Now I'm going to do 2 of these because I want to have a little bit of sparkle in the front, and then I want to have sparkle on the inside of the card too, which you'll see the way this fancy fold is going to work. So very exciting. It's great to see all of you here. Yes, I did a class for scrapbook.com last week, and a lot of you saw the class and then you ordered the kit, and some of you are saying that you're just getting your kit, so that's very exciting. Okay, I'm going to get another piece of this same Poly-Glaze, and we're going to do another one. Same way. Let's put this one aside, and we'll do the peel and reveal after. Okay, so I used the Swiffer duster on the top of the Poly-Glaze and then on the back of the foil. And I'm going to run this one through. So then we'll have 2 of these that we can cut panels from. Alrighty. I hear a plane going overhead. I wonder if you guys hear that too. Okay. And now we can peel and reveal. Oh, look at how pretty the Butterscotch looks. Can you see the warmth in that? Compared to our 14 karat, which is very, traditional gold. This has all of that warmth. It almost feels like a rose gold or something. It's really, really pretty. But it's different than rose gold too, because you definitely see the Butterscotch in there. I love that. I love that. Hi, Kathy Zilski and Mindy Egan, 2 great YouTube creators, content creators joining us tonight. It's great to see you guys. Yeah, I love the peel and reveal too, Kathy. There's just something about that, right? Okay, so I'm going to let this one sit for a minute, and then I'm going to take a piece of the Floral Friendship Poly-Glaze sheets, and I'm going to cut out one of these floral designs. So I know that might be a little difficult to see on the camera, so this is the design that I'm going to use. There's a couple of different beautiful tall stems in here, but this one I will use tonight. So let me get my scissors, and we'll cut one off the end here. It doesn't really matter where you cut it from. As long as there's room for the die to get around it, if you want to cut it with the coordinating dies. But remember, if you buy the Poly-Glaze sheets, make sure you have the kit, because you'll need the dies to cut it out. Or if you're waiting until the kit is broken apart, make sure you get the the Floral Friendship bundle so that you have the right dies for the Poly-Glaze sheets. It's frustrating if you missed out on the dies, then you have to fussy cut. And I mean, some of you love to fussy cut. I am not a big fussy cut fan. All right, I have a piece of butterscotch here, and I wonder if it's going to fit. Look at the shape of this. I think it's going to make it. Look at that. This is why we never throw anything away. We never throw foil away because that's pretty remarkable that that fits. All right, right? It's my lucky day. I should play the lottery.
Quick question from Lori, technical question.
Yes.
She said, my foil seems to have wrinkles and marks on it when I take it out of the tube. Will this affect the foiling?
It shouldn't, unless it's like really, really bad, like crunched up. If it's got a little wrinkle or something, I would definitely give it a try. Make sure that your fuse or whatever laminator you're using isn't too hot. We like to keep our laminator, our fuse on setting 3 for Poly-Glaze. This way you don't get the overfoiling where you get like glitter everywhere. And it's not too hot so it doesn't wrinkle the foil. There's also a grain to foil, but it's very hard to see. You might want to get a magnifying glass and you can see the way the lines go, but in reality, as long as your machine isn't set too hot, it has to be hot enough, but not too hot, you shouldn't get those wrinkles. People tend to get the wrinkles when they've got this like it's set to 4, or if they're just using a regular laminator and they can't control the heat. Okay, so I'm going to let that cool for just a second, and now I'm going to peel and reveal this. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? I love that design. So we're going to stencil color into this one. Yeah, that's really pretty. I did another one too earlier, so I have a couple of them just in case I mess anything up. And then we're going to do a greeting. So I want to get one of the greetings out of here as well. So let's see. I'm going to do your friendship means, here it is. Your friendship means the world to me. That's a nice big greeting, and I think it's going to fit nicely in the space that I want to use it. Let me make sure I don't have 2 pieces there. Get a lot of greetings with this Poly-Glaze. So you can do lots of them. And I know like some people, when they don't have a lot of mojo, they just take a day and they sit and they foil all of their greetings in different colors that they like to use. Lots of gold, lots of silver, you know, the traditional colors. And then they take the die set and then they cut them all out. And they've got all these beautiful greetings ready to go. So, you know, that's always a good mojo starter if you want to do something like that. All right. So I'm going to cut this out of this piece of butterscotch foil. I'm in a butterscotch mood tonight. Okay. And let me put my foil away. I always like to put it away right away, and I store mine in our large stamp pockets. It's really convenient. I usually put a label up here, but I haven't gotten around to labeling my new colors. But you can see like some of my old colors here. I just put a little label at the top, and then I put them in alphabetical order, so it's real easy to flip through. And I keep the packaging, just this card inside, because it's got, you know, little information on the back, and then it's got the color on here. And then I cut all of my fancy foils in half because that's a really good size for the Poly-Glaze sheets. You don't have to do that. They'll just store in here the same way, just like they came in the package, where it'll fit right in here. So some of you don't like to do that because you use bigger kinds of foiling products, but all of our Poly-Glaze works with the half sheets. Okay, so now let's see here. I am going to Swiffer dust the front of that greeting and then the back of the Poly-Glaze. The reason I do this too is because, you know, we all use things in our craft room that have dust. I don't think we realize it, but we use like, you know, the little powder tools that people use for embossing and embossing powders and different kinds of glitters and things. Well, all of those things will get in the way between your Poly-Glaze or your toner sheets if you're using that and the foil. And anywhere something gets stuck in between, the foil can't stick to the product. So we just want to make sure that we really have that cleaned up.
Question from Crystal. Do you use different setting for the black than the Poly-Glaze?
No, I use 3 for both.
And from Zephra, Gina, what size of cardstock should I use to make my own envelopes?
Well, I would use 8.5 by 11. That's what I use. And if you have our little scoreboard on the back here, it's got all the paper size measurements depending on what size envelope you want to make. And then it's got the instructions on how to make your envelope. So you follow the same instructions with whatever size cardstock you cut, and it will create the right size envelope for the card size. And I demonstrated that when we released this toolbox. So you can check out that video. I don't know what video it is, but Brianne might know, and she might be able to share it.
Okay, and one more from Carissa. Have you ever foiled multiple colors at one time?
Yes, and you can. You can take a background panel like this, and you can put different strips of different color foil and run it through. You can do like little pieces all over and run it through. Just wherever the pieces touch, you will see a little line between them. It may not be a blank line, but it would be like the green butted up against the butterscotch or the red butted up against the blue. But yeah, you definitely can run different pieces.
I think I have, but I didn't mean to. Along with a sleeve.
A sleeve? Oh no. You don't want to do that, Tom. Okay, so now we're going to work on our fancy fold, and I am going to use some butterscotch cardstock, because why not, right? I'm going to make this a fancy fold, and we're using all the butterscotch. We might as well do the butterscotch. So we're going to cut this piece of butterscotch cardstock in half to measure 5.5. Let's see, I'm going to just cut it a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to, because I'm going to use this for some other stuff. I just want to make sure mine is completely straight here. It should be, but remember, a lot of times if something isn't perfect, it ends up in my pile, and so I don't want to have a bad measurement. I take all the things where a corner is bent or a blending brush is bent weird or something. I always take those. All right, so for our fancy fold, what we're going to do is we're going to do the first score line at 2 1/8 inches. All right, so there's my 2 1/4 inch mark. I know it's hard to see against this white light, but you can see it when you do your own. I'm going to do 2 1/8 inches.
Angie said, Tom needs to stop for ice cream on the way home tonight. I like that.
I thought you were kidding. Thought you just wanted ice cream on the way home. That sounds like a great idea, Angie. Thank you. I would like to do that too. All right, so now I've got my fold going inward, which means I'm going to fold away from that. So what I'm going to do is flip this over, and now I am going to score this at, am I going to score this at the 4 1/4 inch mark? Okay, is that what I'm going to do? Let's see. Oh, I'm going to turn it this way and score it at the 4 1/4 inch mark. Okay, so we've got our first, let's just review before we mess it up. So I've got a line going here at the 2 1/8 inch mark. Now I'm going to flip it over and put the big side, you can see my score line over here, the big side in, and I'm going to score that at 4 1/4. Okay, and I'm doing it on the back, because one way I'm going to fold out and one way I'm going to fold in. So we want the score lines to be this one going in and this one coming from behind. All right, because what we do is we stretch the fibers here so we don't get cracking. So I'm going to just fold that down. like that. And now I'm going to turn it and I'm going to fold it in on that line. Okay. So this is a very simple Z-fold card, like that. But it's going to be really pretty because we're going to decorate it with some foil, and we're going to use our beautiful frame. Make sure I have that pressed down there well. We're going to use our beautiful frame to place on top. Okay, so now I'm going to just get a big acrylic block here. This is our biggest acrylic block. And I'm just going to put that on top to put a little weight on it for now. Now we're going to do a little bit of die cutting on this panel. And I want to use Master Layouts 13, which, like I said earlier, Master Layouts 13 was designed for fancy folds. So we need the stitched die, and then we also need the plain die, because of course we're going to do a shadow layer. You know I have to do a layer on everything. I better have the right die in here. Let's see, do I have it? If not, Tom's going to be running to the warehouse. Did I put it? Let me just check first to make sure I didn't put it back in the wrong pocket, because I could have. I definitely could have. So I'll check my Master Layouts 14 because I'm going to need that die. And let me make sure I didn't put it away in the wrong place. We've all done that, right? We've found our die stuck to the bottom of our MISTI, or we put it back in the wrong pocket. I've had people reach out and say, hey, I'm missing a certain die. My die isn't big enough. And then they realize they put it in with Master Layouts 1 or Master Layouts 2. But Tom, I don't think I have it. So would you be so kind as to get me a die set, a Master Layouts 13? All right, I appreciate it. Because the minute you get that, I'm going to find it.
Fruit salad too?
Fruit salad would be great. Or apparently ice cream is what we're more in the mood for tonight. I'm going with that. Okay, so while Tom is getting that, I'm going to cut 2 of these stars out. And I can definitely get 2 out of this piece of Poly-Glaze. So let me get my intricate die cutting machine here. Yeah, it could be. You know, I've lost more things. I can't even begin to tell you how many things I've lost. I've thrown out dies, which is devastating. You know, you tape them on and then you throw them out by accident. Ooh, that one hurts. Okay, so I'm going to get a little piece of pixie tape for this. I know I'm a little off the screen here. I know we were home the other night and I needed something and Tom couldn't run to the warehouse and everybody was like, oh no, what are we going to do? But we improvised, so. All right, so we're going to cut this. I feel like I should just have 2 of my master layouts here because I just make a mess and I lose things so easily. And you can't do that when you're live, but look how pretty that looks. Ooh, that makes me happy. All right, so we've got 1 cut. And what I love about this is that pretty little stitched edge. You see that going around, that little stitched edge? Oh, I love that. And that is something that's so cool. Now, if you want to cut this by hand and you don't have a machine, I mean a master layout set, this is actually, I'm going to measure it on my score board here. This is 1 5/8 of an inch, 1 5/8 of an inch by 5 inches. I'm measuring it, but I have the package right here like a ding-dong, and it tells you the measurements on the package. So here it is. Yep. The tall stitched, it says 1.625, which is 1 5/8. So maybe it is good that I said it, because not everybody knows the decimals. They don't work for everybody. Okay. So I have the plain one here. There we go. They're the 2 that I need out of Master Layouts 13. It's my fault. I was playing with this earlier, and I took it out. It's here somewhere, but I can't take a chance. Okay. So Tom just has to dig in the safety stock that we have back there. All right. So now we're going to cut this one.
What am I digging through now?
The safety stock. That's where you got this for me, didn't you?
Right.
Uh-oh. Oh, no, you misplaced entire die sets? Well, that sounds right. I mean, I've done that too. Okay, so now we've got the 2 panels, and these 2 panels are going to go on the front of this card, and one is going to go on the inside to decorate that right there. Then we're going to put our big panel to match in there. Okay. So let's cut the big panel. And the big panel is going to get cut with Master Layouts 14. So Master Layouts 14 is our postage die set that everybody loves, and we do so many postage cards. But it also has this die in it that you can put this die on top of and get a shadow layer, but it also is the same exact size as the plain die, one of the plain dies in Master Layouts 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this out of the Master Layouts 14, and then we're going to cut the shadow layer out of Master Layouts 1. And this will be the same height as these strip panels, so it's all going to mesh really nicely together. Okay. Sounds like we're all the same and we all lose things, and that makes me feel better about my consistent losing of things. Okay. Oh, Crystal has a magnetic bowl. Yeah, are they big enough though for these big panels? The magnetic bowl? Might be. Let's see, did I cut that all the way through? I hope so. Yep, I did. Okay, there it is. So we've got that panel. So I'll put that aside. I know I'm kind of a little out of the frame here. Let me see if I can back up. I've got my fuse in the way back here, but okay. Now I'm going to put this back in Master Layouts 14. Watch me do it so you can tell me next time. And now I'm going to use the plain larger rectangle from Master Layouts 1. So I don't know which one that is. I've got to see which one. It's this one. Okay. So I know that you all know what color I'm going to use. If I have it. Do I not have black here? Oh my gosh, I'm not sending Tom again. I'm not. I will dig through my scrap box and find a piece of black cardstock before I send that man all the way across. I have it, Tom. I have it. Well, I don't really have it. I have gray. Let's see. Here's black. Nope, that's navy. Oh, man. How do I not have black cardstock?
I'm going.
All right, Tom's going to go. How do I not have black? You know what? I could use slate. Or stormy sky. Would stormy. He's screaming. I could use stormy sky, which would look pretty nice with that. But you know what? I'm going to let him go and get it because he already went. So while he's doing that, I'm going to cut out these. So I'm going to cut out the flowers and I'm going to cut out the greeting. So let me get those dies. We still have some die cutting to do. You know, it is what it is. So I'm going to cut this one out, and then I'm going to cut out the greeting that says, "Your friendship means the world to me," and that's that one. So we'll get this done. It's okay. We'll cut this out. I love this die, and the way it cuts is so beautiful because it cuts everything out of the center, if you know what I mean. It's not like it just cuts around the perimeter. It cuts out all the inside. I know, Tom needs to be on skates tonight. You're right. it cuts out all the innard pieces, and I love that. And I'll show you what I mean when I cut this out. Thank you. I won't send you anymore. I'll figure out something else, I promise. Okay. So look how pretty this cuts. Look at this. Don't you love when all the inside bits fall out like that and you get every little stem? It's so pretty. Love, love. All right. And then, thank you, Tom. And then we're going to cut out this greeting. Your friendship means the world to me. I really like the greetings in this set. They're very classic. You know, those kinds of fonts that are never going to go out of style. They're always going to work. They work for cards for guys, cards for girls. They just have that simplicity about them.
I need a bicycle here.
What's that?
I need a bicycle here.
Oh, you do. Somebody said that you needed, like, skates. But that would be good, a bike. Just bring your bike here for Tuesday Night Lives. All right, so now we've got the greeting cut out. Your friendship means the world to me. So now let's cut out those other black panels, since I almost thought about changing my mind, but then that would have been, that'd be really mean after sending Tom half. You guys, seriously, how far do you think you had to go? Like, is it like a football field? Half a football field?
Half a football field.
Half a football field. Tom had to just go twice.
I'm getting ice cream tonight.
You are getting ice cream tonight for sure. You deserve it. Okay, so we're going to cut 2 of these plain panels from Master Layouts 13. We're going to cut 2 of these. You know, I'm going to put a little tape. Yeah, hoverboard. Oh, that would be cool. Tom loves a bike. He has a bike here, or he does sometimes have a bike here. And every once in a while, after everybody leaves for the day, he does a couple laps around the building on his bike. It's pretty funny. And I remember one winter, Tom and I were so stir crazy that we came over with our bikes and we just did laps around the building. Do you remember that, Tom?
I do.
We just did bike laps. We just rode around and around and around the warehouse. It was fun. Okay, so Catherine Tom wants to know, what's your favorite ice cream?
Chocolate peanut butter.
Chocolate peanut butter. That is Tom's favorite.
Yeah, baby.
Anything. He loves peanut butter. I think you and Jennifer McGuire. Jennifer loves anything with peanut butter too. Peanut butter ice cream. So you and Jennifer share that. I am a plain vanilla girl. I'm very vanilla. All right, now I'm going to use the plain die from Master Layouts 1. And I hope I don't shift it. I'll make sure I don't. Here we go.
Chocolate peanut butter ice cream is a meal.
Donna, if you put your carrier sheet through your fuse and you can't see it, you're going to have to try to open the machine using the screws to try to get it out. If it ever starts to crinkle up like that, just turn the machine off. Don't let it go all the way through, because if it disappears, then you literally have to take the machine apart to try to get it out. Because sometimes if you get it in on an angle and it starts to crinkle, it just goes in weird. And so definitely you're going to have to try to take that apart. Okay, so now I'm going to put these panels together with a little bit of tape. So let me get my tape. You have to be very careful with the fuse or the mink, you know, if you have the mink or any laminator, to make sure that You're putting it in straight, and you're putting it in fold side first, because if the flaps get caught around the rollers, it's going to take the whole thing in, and it is not going to send it out the other side. But I've seen people talk about it in our Facebook group, and every once in a while it happens, and people, you know, take the machine, they open it, and then they pull it out, and their carrier sheet is all crinkled. And if you can get it flat enough to feed it through the fuse, again, you can turn your fuse up to setting 5 and send it through a couple of times, and it'll flatten back out again.
And like Chuck says, Chuck Meadows pointed out, please unplug the machine first.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Chuck. Yes. Of course. You don't want to be doing anything like that with the machine plugged in. All right, so now we've got these 2 cute little panels that are going to give us a little bit of sparkle and shine. And then I'm going to put this first one on this panel. I don't know what that is, but I might have had a little Gamsol or something sitting on my desktop here. So we're going to put this on, and we're going to space it so that it's got an even frame going around the outside of butterscotch. Okay. And then we're going to put this one here on the inside. Okay. And Tom, if you see any questions that I'm not seeing, just make sure you shout them out to me.
Betsy wants to know, where do you find banana ice cream?
Banana ice cream. That is not a question I know the answer to. Okay, so now we have that, and it's going to open and sparkle on the inside. Now we're going to put these 2 layers together. And you can see that's the same height as these when you use Master Layouts 14 and 1 together. And that's going to create that look. So see how I'm uneven at the top? You want to make sure that you are even with the other ones so that when it closes, then it's all very even. All right. Here we go. So next we are going to stencil some color onto these flowers. And it's almost going to be a little monochromatic, but I am going to mix a little sun-kissed coral in there. So our templates and charts are on our website. Somebody's asking where you find those. Go to our website, GinaKDesigns.com, and then go to the tab that says blog. And when you see the blog tab, click on that, and then you'll see templates and charts. Okay, so now I think that's lining up pretty nicely there. Isn't that pretty? The way that sits up, and then it's so pretty. Now you can write on this if you want, or you can write in here on this panel, or you can take a little piece of paper and fold it in half, make it this size, fold it in half, and slip it in here so that your message is on the inside like that. This is also cool. You could have it open this way if you wanted, or you could have it open this way, so it's almost like a step card. You could add a second card base to the back to make it stand up too if you wanted. But I think that that's super fun. Now you can also, I'll show you how to put a panel back here that you can write in that you won't see when the card is closed. All right, but let's get the next piece of die cutting out of the way, because there was one part that I forgot to die cut that's going to be important. So I need to die cut one of, let me find it here. Give me a sec. Here it is. It's under the black cardstock. So I need to die cut one of these, And I need to die cut one of these. All right. So these work together. They layer really nicely together to create a shadow layer. You could do them both in white if you wanted, or you can do the little black shadow layer. And I think I'm going to do the little black shadow layer on this card. And then I'm going to show you a card where I didn't do this layout at all, but I used the same color scheme and I did a similar style, well, a similar card. Not a similar style, but a similar card. So I'm going to cut this one out first, down here.
So did you explain how to use the T-ruler yet?
No, I haven't. I haven't had a need for it just yet, but when that comes up, I will definitely be showing it when I'm doing another card down the line. Okay, and then I am going to cut one of these out here. This very fancy decorative frame. And here we go. Where to find info and pics of my cards. So after I'm done a video, I go back to YouTube and I add all of the supplies that I used into the description. And then on the tab that used to be called Community and is now called Posts, I post high quality pictures here on YouTube. And I also post high quality pictures in our Facebook group. So you can get both. You can find it in both places. So there's that gorgeous frame. I'm going to hate myself later, but I'm going to clean this out later. And you know I'm not going to. And then I'm going to go to use it in a video, and I'm going to have to poke out all those little dots. But, you know, I don't want to do it now. And then I'm going to keep this little piece right here because I'm going to be using that as well. And you know what? I said I was going to do this in black. So let's cut that in black. I don't know what I was thinking. So I have one last piece of black here ready to go. And I'll grab that frame again.
Do you remember which Poly-Glaze set you used?
For what?
In this card.
Oh, well, okay, so I used the, let's see here, I used the Floral Friendship for the flowers and the greeting, and then I used Flurries for the little sparkle in the background paper. Yeah, T-ruler is just great when you need to like find the center of your card, or you just need to measure something quickly and you want the top of that T-square to just butt up against it so that you know that you have it straight. It's good for when you're putting pencil lines on things and you want to make sure it's straight because the T-bar at the top can grab onto the top of the paper. You know that you're straight and your ruler isn't kind of crooked or skewed a little bit. So it's a really neat little tool. All right, so you can see this is going to go here like that. And then I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. Oh my goodness. I have to, let me fix something here on my phone because I was almost banning somebody by accident. I hit the wrong button. So before I do that, I'm going to glue this onto the three that I already glued together to really create some distance between the frame and the back. You see it'll sink down in there and it'll feel like it's like an actual three-dimensional frame.
So Tanya is here. This is her first live.
Hello.
And she wants to know, what are the kits I keep seeing in the chat?
The kits?
The kits.
So I think a lot of people are talking about my kit that I did for scrapbook.com. I taught a class on was it Friday, Tom? I think the class was on Friday last week for scrapbook.com. And I had designed an exclusive kit for that class, so it'll never be available here at Gina K Designs, just on scrapbook.com. And once they're gone, they're gone. And a lot of people came to the class to kind of see how they would like it, and they got to see the kit and they got to see the cards, and then they went back and they purchased the kit.
But then there's your kits that you release every month, right?
And then there's our monthly
Almost
kits.
every month.
Yes, that we release almost every month. We will not have a kit in our next release because we've got so many bundles that we're releasing from classes that I've taught over the months. And so usually April is the month that we release a lot of Stamp and Die bundles that have been from previous kits and events and classes that I've taught that a lot of people have been wanting, and it's finally, you know, I'm finally able to release them because those classes are over. We do a lot of classes, online virtual classes in the spring, so once we get through them, then we can sell those products separately. So there we go. I've got that frame put together. And then got a little bit of glue in there. I'm just going to clean that out with my pick and stick tool. You can always scrub your tool or use a little bit of alcohol to get rid of anything sticky on it, but that looks pretty good. So now this panel is going to go on top of this. I think Brienne just linked the SBC Fest kit.
There it is.
Thank you, Brienne. Brienne, you're so awesome.
Question, which side of the white Poly-Glaze sheets do you foil on? The flat side or the shiny side?
The shiny side. The shiny side is the Poly-Glaze. All right, now I'm going to glue this right onto this black panel. Try not to like over glue. I don't need that much glue, but I need some. Gotta make it stick. Glue is nice because it's like, it's forgiving, you know. You can kind of slide things around until it looks like it's in place. I know like Kathy Zilski even puts a little bit of glue on her foam squares before she like commits to a spot that she wants it, and then the glue dries and she's got the foam squares behind it. I'm not that patient, but Kathy is, and it's a great tip if you're nervous about where you're laying something down. Okay.
And that frame is from which Master Layouts?
This is our newest Master Layouts. It's Master Layouts 19. Can you believe it? 19. Okay. So there we go. Let me just lay this block on here. Make sure it's straight first before I commit. Yeah, that looks pretty straight. So I will put the block on here as a little paperweight. It's our large acrylic block. And now, while that's drying, let's add a little tiny bit of color. And it's going to be super easy. We're going to use 2 colors of ink here. We're going to use Butterscotch and Sun-Kissed Coral. So we'll start with Butterscotch. And do I have my little sticky mat? I think I do. Somewhere. Here it is. So with the sticky mat, let's move that. With the sticky mat, you can even do like single little pieces like this, just to pop them on there. So this is our sticky mat, and I need a blending brush. Okay, so if your blending brush ever gets crunchy, you can take a little bit of rubbing alcohol and a paper towel. Somebody asked if they could use a microfiber cloth, and you definitely can if you want. So you don't want to use a lot of paper towels. You can use a microfiber cloth for this, and then I guess they just take their cloth and throw it in the wash. But I'm just going to clean this brush a little bit to get some of the ink off of it, because some colors can be a little more crunchy than others, and this really softens up your bristles again, and it gets rid of any excess ink that's on the surface. So let's just do that. And that looks nice and smooth. Okay. Then I'm going to need a tiny blending brush. So let's clean that off because I think it's got some red on it. There we go. Okay. Now I need to find my stencils, which are stored with the stamp set and the die set, which I've completely lost on my desk here. Let's find that. Give me a quick sec. Here it is. So the stencils I always tuck in between here. I put the die set on one side. Stencils in the middle. And the stamp set on the top. So for this one, we're going to use this. We want to make sure that the words are so that we can read them, Floral Friendship. And we're going to place that right on top of those flowers. Like that. Now I'm trying to decide, do I want to use this big brush or do I want to use a smaller brush? I think I want to use a smaller brush. I have a smaller brush here because I don't want to like fade a little bit. I want the ink to fade out. So that should work. Okay. So I'm using some of our butterscotch ink on one of our small blending brushes. And I'm going to add that color dark along the bottom and then just get lighter as I go toward the top. Like that. I'm going to do the same thing on this side.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Isn't that pretty? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to add just a little bit of sun-kissed coral. Brienne, they're asking you to link your inkstand. That's the inkstand that I'm using here. Okay, so I'm adding a little bit of sun-kissed coral here to the bottom along the base of the flower. I'm going to do that over here too, just along the base of the flower. And then whatever's left on that brush, I'm just going to come across the top and add a little bit of that coral along the top of the flower. Like that. Use a little bit more here. Just to add a little something along the top. Isn't that pretty? It'll look a lot nicer once I pull the stencil off. And you see you don't lose any of that shine, but it's got the little pink edges. So I love that combination together. Now there's just a tiny little bit of greenery. It's right here. These two little bits match here, and you want to make sure that the name of the stencil is facing you. And I'm going to pop those right there. And then I am going to pick a green. So I'm going to just pick a green brush. And I guess I'll do a little jelly bean green. But you could do any green here. It's so tiny you barely see it. You might even just want to use a Copic marker or a colored pencil just to color this in. But either way, it's super easy. It's tiny. Sometimes with these really tiny little areas, you might have to shift the stencil a little bit just to make sure you got it all filled in. But that's pretty filled in. So I feel pretty good about that. And I just used the rest of the alcohol that was on that paper towel to clean the stencils so I can put them back in my pouch here. Okay, so now we've got this, and this is ready to go onto the card. Now, if you're worried about any ink that may have pooled on top of the foil, what I suggest is to take a paper towel and just kind of pat over it. And any ink that is resting on the foil will kind of get onto your paper towel. You can barely see that. I see it. It's just a tiny bit, but it's good to just get it off of there so that, you know, somebody doesn't grab the card and then smears that ink, because that ink will never dry on the foil. All right, so now let's see what we're going to do here. So we're going to put this on the card right here, like this. We're going to tack it down on this one side. But I want this to be white on the inside. So what I'm going to do is this piece that fell out, I'm going to put it back in and paper piece it down in there so that I've got something that I can mount my flowers to, and it doesn't like take away. It's not so stark, you know what I mean? So I'm going to do a layout like that, and then this whole thing is going to go onto this like that. All right, so let's set it up on here first. Actually, can just use some tape for this. I have to glue it in. We'll just get it in there the best that we can. I'll press it down in there. There we go. That's pretty good. Now you can see, like, you've got like a frame that kind of comes up. Now we want to make sure that we only adhere this to the one side. We don't want to put tape all over the back and glue it down onto here. We only want to glue it into this area here so that when we open the card, it looks like that. And we want to center it so that when it's closed, it's centered on this card. So you see how that's going to look? And it'll look centered in here too. So if it's easier, you can center it like on here because this picks up for this. So let's go ahead and get tape just on the one side of this. And we'll use a decent amount of tape here. And we're going to center it like that. And before like I totally commit and really press, we can check it to make sure it looks centered. Now I feel like it's over this way just a little bit. So I can lift that up gently and move it just a hair. It probably was okay. It probably was centered. It's just, you know, there's a lot going on here. So I feel like that's good where it is. Okay. Now, if you want, let me see if I can find the little pieces that I cut earlier. Oh boy, that might be tricky. Let me find them. They're here somewhere. Just give me a minute. This is worth it because they're all around here somewhere. I just tossed them. Okay, here they are. So these were all the ones that fell out of my layers. All right. So what you can do is you can put some tape on here and you can kind of fold it in like that. And then that piece will end up on the inside so you can write on it if you want something plain in there. And this is going to cover it. So we can do that. We can add this piece to the inside. And this just gives us a little spot that we can sign our card that doesn't have any foil. You can write on the foil, but you have to use something like a Sharpie because foil is not porous. But now you can write on the inside there, but when it's closed, that message is going to be covered. Okay? All right. And then there's your message, and there it's hidden. So we're going to just pop these up with a few foam squares. I cleaned everything up before I left, and that's never a good idea. Okay. Here we go. So I'm going to put a few foam squares on here. And then, Tom, while I am foam squaring the heck out of this, do you have a word of the day?
Foam squaring the heck out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, word of the day time. Ta-da!
I just have to say one more thing before you do your word of the day.
Well, all right.
Make sure you only put your foam squares on spots that will touch the inside, not the outside. You'll just use some tape for the outside. Okay.
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 All right. Word of the day. So this goes out to all the folks out there who are or have ever been a part of some kind of faith community, some kind of church or synagogue or mosque, or they come in all flavors, and each one of them has a whole list of kind of features, accoutrements, services that they provide. Some have potluck, great parking, good band, really neat organ, mosh pit, ball pit, right?
Mosh
All
pit?
different kinds of.
Where are you going to church?
So those are what I'm talking about. Every church has them. And people are very proud of these, and they're called amenities. Right? Amenities.
Amenities.
We think our amenities are first rate. Word of the day. Way back to the dead space.
Oh my gosh. Drops down past $199,000. That's pretty funny, Tom. That's very cute. All right, so I used some foam squares all on the inside, and then I added a little tape to these areas to have it stick to the card. And then here I'm going to add your friendship means the world to me. And again, I'm just going to put the foam squares in the middle. Oh my gosh. Amenities. The potluck is a good amenity, I have to say. I always enjoyed the potluck.
The corn boil.
The corn boil.
The fish fry.
The fish boil. We had a fish boil at our church, remember?
It was great.
It's all good. Okay, so we're going to pop this right here. Mindy, I don't know if you're still watching, but are you proud of me the way that I'm just rocking the tweezers? And then we're going to add a couple little pearls here. We can do the gold ones. Or let's see what we have here. Maybe we could do some, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do some of these peachy ones that look a little more butterscotchy. Like this. Isn't that a pretty one? I got to pour all of these out though. I got to get that gem thing out of my office. I haven't used it yet. I've got to, okay. I think I have enough here that I can make it work. There we go. So we're going to add these. These are very butterscotchy color. They're peachy. So I'm going to just move these over here. And we'll put one here. We'll put one here. Let me get those two in place first. We'll do the big one down here. And we'll do the medium one here. And then, okay. That one's just a tiny bit of a different color, but it's still peachy. So I think it's going to work. There we go. Okay. So let me put these back in the little heart dish here. And then we'll take a look at this card. Ooh, a bunch of them just came out on the inside. So here's the fancy fold, right, with that gorgeous frame and our butterscotch foil. And then we've got our little pretty background. And then when you open it up, it's got a place to write on the inside that was hidden, all that sparkle and shine. So this is one version of this color combination for this card. Here's a really simplified version. So on this card, I just made a traditional A2 card without the fancy fold. I didn't add any of the black behind here, but I still built up those Master Layouts 19 frames. And you can see that, I mean, this is very elegant too. This one I used our 14 karat foil. This one I use the butterscotch. So can you see this is much warmer? It's just got more of that peachy tone to it. And this is more traditional gold. But both of them are really pretty. I think I like the butterscotch a lot. All right, so do you guys have a favorite? Or one of these your favorite? I don't know. What do you think, Tom? You like the fancy fold?
Boy, it's a tough one, but I do like the fancy fold and the black scents.
The black scents, yeah. They're the black accents, the black scents. I like that too. And I just like the way it opens. It's just fun and it's interesting. And I like the way it covers whatever you want to write on the inside. Okay. All right. Well, I think it's time to give something away. So let's give away a gift card, Tom. You ready? And I will take high quality pictures of these so you guys will be able to see them. And I'll do the fancy fold both closed and opened. And if you really want it to be fancy, you could always put a black accent around here. But I kind of like it simple like that. It doesn't take away from the sparkle in there, and it allows you to write on the outside too if you want. So, okay. All right.
Time to roll?
Yes, time to roll.
Time to roll.
Spin
Let's
it.
do a drum roll, please. Here's Johnny. And the winner is Mary Knighten. Mary Knighten.
Yay, Mary! Congratulations. Mary, you win a $15 Gina K Designs gift card, and all you have to do is send your name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com, and we will get that out to you. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed tonight's video. We love spending time with you, and we appreciate you being here with us tonight. If you're new to the channel and you would like to subscribe, we would love that. Also, if you like the video, we would love it if you'd give it a thumbs up, because that really does help our channel. And then click the subscribe button and all notifications so you never miss another video or never miss another live. And then if you are interested in joining our Facebook group, we would love to have you over there. The name of the group is Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. That group, there are a couple of security questions that you have to answer, and you have to agree to the group rules because it's a private group and we try to keep out spam, trolls, things like that. So just prove to us that you're real, and we would love to have you over there. It is 48,000 really friendly, fun crafters that share their love of the Gina K Designs product line and share lots of inspiration along with our guest designers and our moderators. Everybody is sharing beautiful projects with you in there, and we love to see yours too. And then if you saw something that you liked, and maybe you missed one of Brianne's links, or you're not sure where to go to take a look at our website, you can find us at ginakdesigns.com. Just click on the shop tab if you're interested in shopping. Click on the blog tab if you're interested in downloading our free templates. There should be a template on here for the Z-fold card too. So you can go ahead and download that for free and print them out and keep them. You'll have all the measurements and all the score lines and all of those fun things. Well, everybody, thank you so much. Tom and I will be back on Thursday with another Stampin' Chat Live. We're going to be featuring Master Layout 6, and I'm going to show you different ways to build scenes with that Master Layout set. It's the next Master Layouts video in our series, so we hope you'll join us for that as well. In the meantime, everybody, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.